and welcome back to episode 5 of Valkyrie Flight. I'm your host and GM Bazag. I do have to apologize because we didn't have an episode last week, and the reason because of that is basically we lost the episode. Q turned up, he turned science into magic, magic into science, and I was just left with a really big headache. So we didn't end up recording, but what we did have is these magical invocation arrays. Like instead of phases, we had invocation arrays. So I suppose I should, while I'm doing, bleeding on about what happened last time, we need to say thank you to actually Invocation Array, a band, for the music for our intro and for allowing us to use the music under the show as well. So if you hear something going on underneath, and that's all Invocation Array's stuff. So a big shout out and thank you to them, and we might as well jump right into it. So let's start with our introductions as usual. The captain of the U.S.S. Valkyrie.
That would be me. I play Commander Dodge Kailas, and this is Rogue Enterprise.
And we don't have our XO with us, so I will play the role of Commander Strith, the Vulcan tactical officer, usually played by Don Burrito. But instead, what about the Chief Engineer?
Hi, I'm Sir Boulevard, and I'm playing Lieutenant Commander Mazaka.
And our Chief Medical Officer?
Hey, I'm Zorbin, and I am Dr. Mark Jansen.
And last but definitely not least, as he's the actual one controlling the ship, is our helmsperson.
Hi, I am Goodwin, and I am playing Lieutenant Kane Sprout there.
Alright, thank you for joining us once again. We're on just a quick wrap up. Actually, though, I do believe that our captain has a captain's log.
I do. All right. Captain's log, stardate 48584.3. The Valkyrie has been ordered to investigate an unusual star in the Shackleton Expanse that has been proceeding toward Nova earlier than nature would normally dictate. On arrival, we quickly discovered that one of the planets hosts a just barely pre-warp civilization. My officers have proposed a plan to slow down the stellar deterioration, but in my view, it comes dangerously close to violating both the text and the spirit of the Prime Directive. It is difficult for me to put a shadow on an attempt to save millions of lives, but Starfleet is not an organization based completely on sentiment as much as we might hope that it is. In the meanwhile, we have approached the M-class planet for reconnaissance into their computer networks to see what we can learn about this civilization.
Alright, so as you guys know, you've managed to connect into the basically the internet of this society. 150 million people, most of them have some sort of computer device that is connected in a distributed way in a cluster of cities around. You've connected to the network, but you haven't really been able to get anything into it as yet, because it is the internet. It is distributed. There is no single point of single operating system where you can just go type search. At least one you haven't found yet. So to continue up, we are starting a new scene. So I've dropped the momentum down from the max it was from 6 to 5, and it's up to you guys to try and figure this out. So at the moment, I'd like you to start doing an extended task to try and figure out where you can go to get information, to try and pass the information, the strange data files you do get. And of course, this is a completely new civilization with their own language, so you'll need to learn how to read and feed the information, properly information, and try to get that sorted as to what anything you're getting actually means. So this will be an extended task, You'll need 3 breakthroughs. The difficulty will start at 4, and you'll need this will be 16 work track. So there will be 16. Basically, you have to do 16 damage. There's a 16 damage that can be done to the task.
So someone hacking right now?
So
That would be me.
Yep.
Hackerman.
So I have allowed that for Mzaka to be assisted by like if he wants to, he can be assisted by Iris and the Doctor.
Yes, please.
And also the Valkyrie itself.
Okay.
So for this,
I guess I do.
all right. So the first one, let's just do a insight. This will be engineering or science. You guys will get to choose.
Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and blow a momentum here
Yep.
for an extra die.
Do it.
And
Oh wait, and before I forget, I'm putting not a complication, but creating a disadvantage for you guys. The complication range, because this is a this is a foreign computer system. The complication range will be increased by 1. So if you get a 19 or 20, then you guys may generate a complication.
okay.
In this situation as well, just letting you guys know that. Alright, so the
And oh my god.
Oh, so you did get 2 successes. So I will roll for the Valkyrie. So we'll Zorbane. I will also roll for Iris.
Yeah. Like, I'm not sure what
So
Dr. Jansen can do to help.
Give him Zaka stims.
oh yeah, I'll give him coffee. I'll give him coffee.
Well, I will.
I got nut tongue.
I will give Iris will control with assist with control and science.
Okay, that makes more sense. Oh.
So if you do want to roll, Zorbane, you can do that. Just give me an idea what you want. Like you can just jump in and give some kind of, maybe do some data analysis kind of stuff, or you could.
I can't give him like some kind of stimulant to.
If you want to do that, you can. So what I'm
That's
going to
legal.
do is say, do a reason medicine.
Okay. Use medicine. And no focus.
What are your focuses? I'm not sure you would have any that would apply.
I mean, the only one I could think of was herbal medicine.
Yes, herbal stimulants.
It's natural.
I will allow for this to be a natural stimulant. I've decided.
Is I'm not gonna like, yes, give that to me.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the good stuff, guys.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
there you go. Oh.
Oh, so you.
Oh, it was too good.
Wow. No.
And
Almost
I'm
pretty
allergic.
good.
Yeah. So another complication. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So with 2 complications in hand, can I get everyone who is assisting? I'm actually going to spend 2 fret for this to make it more difficult for you guys.
Blaming your herbs.
But I am
Sorry.
going. Can I get the guys who are doing it to do an insight security check for me, please?
Do any of our focuses apply?
I'm going to say no.
Do we roll 2 dice?
Roll 2 dice. It is a normal insight security check. It'll be a difficulty 2.
Oh!
Oh my.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
You guys have one job. This is so hard to hack the
I'm just
internet.
going to take the complication. Take threat with the complication. That one. Well, actually, it was going to be difficulty 4 for you guys, but never mind. I will roll for Iris. She's not going to spend momentum, but she will roll. At least there's no complications.
Oh my god.
But for the rest, for the 3 of you that aren't doing this will be a difficulty 2 insight security or insight science check. I'll allow either, your choice.
So everyone rolls?
So I'm having everyone rolls. I just said this because they're meant to have a difficulty 4 task. You guys will have a difficulty 2 task. But basically doing the same thing, but I will let you know if any of you actually succeed.
They have a lot of nuclear weapons on us.
Is there a, do I know if a focus applies here?
Hang on, let me check. I don't want, just read out your focuses for me.
Federation Alien Cultural Exchange, Unforeseen Armed Escalation, Crisis Response, Diplomacy and Negotiation, Starfleet Protocols, and Interpersonal Conflict.
I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna say no for you guys.
Okay.
But I will roll for Struth. What do insight security? Yes.
Oh, you passed.
I got something there.
So, inside security is what I wanna.
Insight security or science? I think you've got a better security than science. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So he doesn't get it. And okay, so as you are monitoring the situation, Rogue, you're looking not only at the planet, you're looking at other planets and star, and you notice basically there's a large flare that is coming directly towards you from the sun. It's like the security systems almost registered it as an energy weapon. It's very powerful. It's gonna do a lot of damage if it hits your ship.
Oh crap.
Okay.
So
the call for red alert.
So you've got now that you've seen it. It's going to take a number of minutes to actually get to you. So
okay.
So you can you've got plenty of time to get out of the way to do whatever you guys want to do.
What am I looking at exactly? Can I just tell it it's heading straight for us or toward the planet or what?
It is heading directly towards the planet, towards you guys. Once you notice it, you get pretty much all the information that you need to know. It's a large, powerful. I can't remember the word now. I'm gonna say solar flare.
You mean a coronal max injection?
Yeah, something like that. That the things we get all the time. That like it's basically a massive electromagnetic discharge from the star. It's going to take some time to get to you, but it is going. As I said, the security sensors almost picked it up as a phaser beam. So
Okay.
I mean, as powerful
It's gonna hit.
as a phaser beam. So you're gonna want to
Ray shields.
ray shields,
Right.
do something.
I call for red alert, and can I have So is it going to hit us or the planet or both?
It is going to hit both.
Oh. So
Is-
Lieutenant Trollner, can you get us out of the way of the of this beam, and Commander Rogeson, can we analyze this to see why this is happening?
Commander, can we also check to see how the magnetic field is going to interact with this? We don't want, if their magnetic field has been weakened, it could, well, spread out.
It's a good point. Maybe Commander Rogeson can make an interpretation.
Okay, yep, I will get her to roll. This will be a reason science. She will have her. Do you guys want to give her? This will be a difficulty 3 task. Do you guys want to use a momentum? She will have a focus of data analysis.
I guess so. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. We've got it to spare.
So she's rolling 3 dice. Actually, the no, that's all right. So she rolled 3 dice. She's got an applicable focus, and I will. Ooh.
Oh my goodness!
Oh no, it's bad.
All kinds of complications.
Okay,
Oh.
so the ship still needs to roll, so it's not over and done with yet.
It was the 3rd dice too.
So I
Yeah.
will roll sensors. This will be. I'm going to say security. The ship. 1 roll.
And am I doing evasive maneuvers to get out of here, or?
So you don't really need to do evasive maneuvers. You've got enough time to go wherever you want to go to get out of the way. I just need to know where you guys want to go in response.
Fly casual.
Do you want to
Dark side of the moon?
You can go
The dark
behind. You could go behind the planet. There are moons. You could try and use the moon as cover, or you could just go far enough away out of the blast completely. So you did get a success on the sensors. So looking at the data, it seems that there are going to be natural flares like this anyway, but no one expected anything near as powerful as this. The reason is that because the electromagnetic eddies are speeding up the process, that there's more energy inside the flares than anyone expected. So getting fired, the flares which are normal, but they're just basically super powered because of the expanse. So that seems to be a natural thing. The electromagnetic field around the planet generated by all these satellites that we see currently isn't powerful enough to direct, to fully deflect, to change the direction of the flare. The flare might actually, have massive solar radiation hit the ground if things remain the same.
So is this lethal to the planet? Will this wipe out all the life on the planet?
If it's not lethal, it's going to be very dangerous because it is almost powerful as a phaser blast, and consider that over a wide scale, even with the planet's natural magnetic deflection, and even with the extra benefits provided by the satellites, there is going to be enough getting through that it's going to be problematic. I'm not going to necessarily say we know it's going to be lethal, but it's going to be definitely probably there's going to be enough that it's going to cause some kind of effects.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is for the complication, I'm just taking threat.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Captain, it would appear that this flare is going to be far worse than we expected. May I suggest that we might be able to modify our deflector to maybe assist in deflecting it?
Do you think you can make those kinds of modifications? This is coming dangerously close to violating the Prime Directive, but considering we don't know what exactly is causing this.
True, but we're also defending ourselves.
Speaking of that, Lieutenant Trallner, are we out of the blast path of that thing?
You currently, you can easily get out of the way. No one's given me any indication where you guys want to go. So currently you're still in the pathway, but you've definitely, you can go pretty much anywhere you want to.
Oh, I'd say we're gonna go to the backside of the closest moon, just to get out of the blast radius. But do I need to roll for that or not? Probably not.
No, I'm gonna say you don't need to. It depends. Like, do you want to? No, the moon is going to be big enough that you can easily navigate between there and have the moon itself like block you from the star, from the flare.
Alrighty.
Okay. Great, I see that we're moving out of the way, and I look back to Mzak and I say, so do you have a plan to deflect that? I just point at giant beam of death coming at us.
Let's see how much I can overclock this thing. So I'm going to try and rig up an overcharged deflector pulse.
Yep.
So
what kind of, like, is this going to just be like a magnetic pulse, or what kind of pulse?
So I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to, if this was done, it would be basically I'm rerouting deflector tractor beam power into the deflector array to create a micro singularity to use gravity to bend it out of the way. So gravity well won.
I like that.
Won't that kind of give us away though?
Yeah, that's gonna be my question. Commander, are you telling me that the natives will see this?
I'm pretty sure the natives are seeing this already.
They're seeing us though?
We were in the middle of that thing, weren't we?
You currently are in the middle of the, like, directly in between the planet and the star at the moment. Going with the flare, you think they're probably going to be looking. You don't know what their senses are. You don't know.
Do we know if they've seen us? I don't think
you
so.
You don't
right?
know if they have seen you or not. There is nothing clear to indicate that they have.
Have they seen the flare?
You would assume so.
Then they've probably seen us because we were in the immediate blast radius of it. So they probably saw a little shuttle moved across away from it at impulse speed.
Well, I'd rather not confirm their knowledge of alien life. So, Commander, if you can make this as stealthy of a black hole as possible.
I'll do
Unless
what I
somebody else has
can.
different ideas. Just don't let them see us creating it. I think that might be enough.
All right, for this,
I'll try and make it.
okay.
I'll try and make it look like a gravitational anomaly.
That works for me. Make it happen.
Okay, so for this, I'm going to make it a difficulty 3. I'm going to be spending 1 point of threat to increase the complication range. This will be a This'll be, I'm gonna say, because this probably should be a science.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, I don't know if to make reason or control, because you want to be precise in how the.
They're exactly the same for me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say control science for you. I'm gonna say. So it's a difficulty 3.
Burning a momentum for that extra die.
Yep.
And
You
since
can
I
I'm
remember what happened last time we did this.
and
Yep.
so since I'm rerouting power, can my EPS systems apply? And if not, since I'm creating a micro singularity, which is similar to a warp field with warp field dynamics work, if EPS won't apply.
I'm thinking more like probably quantum mechanics would work better. And
Okay, so
your, no, I'm gonna say neither of those will work.
There's something I want to check really fast. I'm just checking my. Okay, you know what? I don't have anything that will apply here, so.
Okay, and the ship roll. I'm gonna. This will have to be.
So far, so good.
Don't know what to do. It's not really sensors, not really compute weapons, not comms, not engines. So the computers or structure. Don't really know.
Computers then, I guess?
Probably computers.
Maybe sensors.
Actually, I'm going to say
Sensors-
structure because the tractor beam is structure. So,
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
structure science. 1 die. How's that? Oh, that is definitely a success. So,
Hey, alright.
and no complications, so no more problems. Yes, so
Just bends around and barely misses the planet.
yeah, so you create a singularity off to the side of the planet. It directs. It's only going to last like a small temporary period of time before it collapses in on itself and pretty much destroys itself. It doesn't have enough mass and stuff to survive for long, but it survives long enough to attract and pull the flare enough away, and with the assistance, it doesn't fully drag it away, but with the planet's own magnetic and the satellites, it's going to do enough that the planet is going to suffer no ill effects from the flare.
Yeah, suck it, Flare.
Good job.
I kind of just nod and watch it happen. And I just say, I think some people might say we've just completed a violation of the Prime Directive. But good work, Misaka.
Thank you, Captain.
All right, so
Now then,
sorry, you go, Roy.
yeah. So how far did you get with that analysis of their information superhighways, one might say? Your
We
hack.
were still working on it. We were having some difficulties.
All right, so let's do another roll. So it's still difficulty 4. You need 3 breakthroughs and a work track of 16. So, Inzaka, do you want to do the main roll?
Yeah, it's control, right? Or insight.
Insight for the first one.
Burning a momentum again.
Ooh. So the complication with the network still applies, but Aris didn't roll anything, so... And Mzaka didn't roll enough to get the complication, so that's good. We just need I'm gonna allow the stimulant. You want to do the stimulant again, or are we gonna? Are we gonna say? Actually, I'm gonna say that you can't really use the stimulant method again because it's really too soon after applying the first stimulant. So if you want to do something else to assist, then you can. Otherwise, this is gonna fail.
Can Trellner do something? Got anything you can do to help, Trellner?
Yeah,
I fly
Fly the ship. Got it.
So
He docked us with a satellite like I used.
And that's a crit. The Valkyrie actually provides everything you need.
Hey!
Oh, yay!
Okay, so can I get you to your engineering is 5? Is that right?
Yes.
Yep. I will roll a 7 challenge dice for you. So you've only done 4, but you have the effect, and Nick in times that increases to 5. You do have 4 dice that you can re-roll. That are 0 if you want to spend a momentum to do that.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so there's another... Okay, so that is another 2, so that's a 7 down. So you're getting 1 breakthrough, and now you've sort of... The first time was the difficulty 3 was basically just working out the protocol itself, getting connected and being able to read and know how the network operates. This one is to basically just see the flow of data in the system and point out to areas that are highly trafficked that could indicate like major systems. So within the thing, so you've identified basically what are equivalent to the domain name system that you can link in. You can get some sort of text. You can sort of now like link these numeric addresses to some kind of IP, like the equivalent to an IP address, but it's like, I mean, it's not the same format, but
it's alien IPs.
It's alien IPs. And yeah, so with that, you're able to basically just get a grasp of how the system's organized.
Gotcha.
And so now, you basically have a list of locations you can go to find information. That may not be the information you want to find, but at least it's information that you can that you will be able to like learn how to pass the data and get an idea of the language.
Gotcha.
So you choose, you find a location and choose one, and you're basically bombarded with this data that as it stands now, makes no sense. So the question is, do you want to try and pass the data, or you want to, I suppose you want to try and pass the data first, is that right?
First I'd like to remodulate our translator to actually pick the stuff up.
Okay, without, it's going to be difficult. Alright, so yeah, so you get to choose whether you want to do the linguistic side of it or the actual the data file side of it, just to see how that works. There as a computer programmer yourself, I'm going to say that you know enough to spot these like repetitive tags and things that indicate that what is information and what is just basically programming. So,
okay.
Continuing on the extended task, I will need to give you reason engineering to just basically difficulty 3, to just get the information out of the data and send it through the linguistics processor.
I'm not using a momentum because we only got one left.
Yep.
And I didn't need it anyways.
Okay.
Hey, good job.
Yeah, you've got the focus on this, and I will roll the Valkyrie as well.
Come on, give us momentum.
You need momentum, so this will be. I'm going to say science. No, engineer. Should be engineering for the Valkyrie. And that is 1 success, so you get 1 momentum back.
The Valkyrie provides.
Can I get you? I will roll the 7 damage. Oof. Only 2 damage.
We roll?
Yeah.
It costs momentum, right?
It costs 1 momentum if you want to re-roll, but you're going to be re-rolling.
I feel like it'd be worth it. That's 5 dice.
Is that what you want to do?
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd say do one, probably fine.
Okay, so using the momentum and re-rolling those zeros, and that is well worth the effort because you get 10 all up with your nicking time. So 5 from the ones and 3 extra from the effects. So that is 10. You get another breakthrough. So you're able to understand it.
Worth it.
I understand the words, but as the file processes, you see not only there's tags, but there's like basically programming as well that are included in many of the pages that you come across.
Gotcha.
So for the last bit, do you want to try and work out that programming, or do you guys want to just leave it as it is?
I probably should figure out the programming just in case I need to, say, hack into their military database to keep them from blowing us out of the sky if they've seen us.
Okay. So yeah, do a difficulty 2. This will be reason engineering with your focus.
Not using a momentum. Oh.
Oh man,
we're not rolling well today.
Let's see how the. Hang on. I'll roll Iris as well. But I will.
Pop-ups come onto all the monitors.
Yeah.
What's going on over there, Mizaka?
Don't ask me to bring it up with their corporate.
And Iris will still assist. This will be reason. She is basically trying to do the computer science part of it, because I mean, computers does blur the line between science and engineering a fair bit.
Reroute all power to Norton Antivirus.
So she actually gets another complication.
Oh my god.
Do you want
I
to
would
be
ask,
friends?
what are you guys thinking? But then I just read their minds and see what they're thinking.
Okay, so it is
Trying to make
clear
the
that
joke. Okay.
that something major has gone wrong as you try and process, as you try and put together programming. I'm going to say that you understand the basics of it, but the system is just you've done something. You're not quite sure what it's done, but you've definitely attracted some attention on the ground. You're basically stuffed up the web server, essentially.
Captain? Oops.
What did you do? What's going on?
Unfortunately, I think our hacking attempt has succeeded and failed at the same time.
What do we know about these people? Start with the good news.
That they know we're here.
That's not good news.
Okay, so basically
let's,
you're able
let's
to
stop while we're ahead.
Yeah, so
No more Prime Directives violations.
You definitely know how to use it, but you still haven't found the information. The website that you do is actually cooking. It's like a cooking website. There's a lot of different recipes.
I can say that our chief medical officer will have a very good recipe for brownies after today.
Oh no.
So if with this kind of information, if you want to Zorban, you could get an idea of their kind of diet, what kind of creature they might be. There aren't any like photos. It's more like all the creatures themselves. It's just basically all the images of food.
Okay. We've infiltrated the Tasty Facebook page.
The Food Network. Okay.
Is this information useful for us?
Am I doing something with it? Like, I'm like studying it, I guess.
Well, this is
probably figuring out.
Yeah, I mean, you could figure out what kind of creatures they are if you want to. But
Maybe cultural significance?
It's at worst some cultural information.
Wait, did we finish the extended task?
I'm going to say you have. You technically haven't, but...
It's getting bad enough. We don't need any more complications.
Yeah.
I mean, is it useful right now? It's not really useful right now, though, right?
It's not useful right now.
Later.
As far
as
you know.
If we have priorities.
Forwarding to the mess hall.
Okay.
Alright, so, for now, you still don't know. You're pretty sure that whatever you've done has drawn attention, but you're unsure how long it will take them to realize that this didn't come from any terrestrial source for them. Or that whatever happened to this server or website, it wasn't a hack. It wasn't one of their own hacking. It wasn't some weird bug that was introduced. It wasn't like a power outage or failure or something. It was just simply people from outside interfering. You don't know how long that will take for them to realize that.
You know, you always think aliens are just coming down the probe. Nope, hacking the Food Network.
It's actually happening. Aliens.
So we know that they're gonna figure it out eventually.
Just blow up the satellite.
Assuming they're competent, whoever's looking into this is competent, then yeah, you are using like you're not using a known IP address really. You're assigned to anything. The IP address you have is like, and you are connecting with the network in a rather odd way. So for the standard guy person, so you will.
Who has an IP address that's QWX?
Can we delete the logs or something?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's, I'm just gonna roleplay it and say, Mzaka, if any of them figure out that we broke into the computer systems, we are all in deep trouble. I suggest we find a way to cover our tracks.
Okay, I'm going to try and delete our records without deleting the Food Network.
Okay, so just from your knowledge of the network, you do know that each sub node in the network contains logs. You can get into there, but you at the moment you're not sure if there's any backups or what kind of logs the server themselves take. So I will say a difficulty 3 task to try and clear the logs.
Okay.
This will be reason engineering. With your
Okay.
focus, of course.
Nope.
Okay, well, it's still the Valkyrie, which has been rather supportive in your recent.
No, don't say it.
We're gonna delete
And,
Tasty.
and with the assistance, you got it.
Hey, more complications.
So, yeah, as far as you're aware, you've successfully cleared what logs you know of anyway. You've gone through your entire network path and cleared what logs you found on the server itself and the intermediary nodes. So they may not have any information about what happened, or they may be able to find other information that you're not aware of. But you've done your best. You've cleared out everything you're aware of.
I turn to Lieutenant Rugson. Lieutenant, if I may make a suggestion, keep a track on their nightly news, just in case someone reports on the evening news that someone tried to hack into the Food Network.
Okay, yeah, she will do that. What I will do is I'll make a roll.
Hopefully it would make the news. Shouldn't we be monitoring their communications anyway, or their media, if they have media?
They do have media. I mean, basically their internet is based on it supplies most of that. But you can, with knowing what you have, what you've done so far, you think you can, with knowledge, you think you've been able to locate a number of what you believe to be news sites. So I'll say this is insight. I could do command or science. I'm going to say science. She will. Okay, so 2 for her. She she won't have an applicable focus. And she got the 2, but I'm going to roll the Valkyrie. And this will be comms. Engineering. And you get a momentum back.
Hey.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Man, the Valkyrie's doing really well tonight.
Nobody else is though.
The ship itself, but the crew, they're just crap.
And you were criticizing my idea to turn her into an AI.
Alright, so, so at the moment, she's monitoring a number of different, what appear to be, basically TV channels. They're always on their streaming video. One of them has a news story come up, but it's as of yet it's related to the flare, not to the actual to the hack.
Hacking it.
It does. They do note the anomalous black hole, and that appears to have attracted attention, and they. But actually, you haven't heard these guys speak, so you probably should do another linguistic thing just to. But because you've got the typed out language, I'm going to say that this will be a pretty easy check to know the spoken language. So this will just be a difficulty 1 for Iris.
Can Mazaka assist, because he also has keen hearing? He might be able to.
Okay, yeah, I am going to allow you to assist, and get 2 dice with the assist.
Okay. What's the roll?
So, for you, this will be insight command, because you're more focusing on the fine details of what are being said. You're focusing on the thing. Iris is focusing on just getting that information into the.
Ooh boy.
Okay, so you get another 3 momentum.
It's like saying, no, it's a grrr, not a hey.
So yeah, so you both of you working together, you're able to not only feed the audio, but to add extra information and data to help the universal translator just get this down really quickly and really well. You've usually with this it would sort of be partially broken, but it seems like you've trained it really well, and it's very just say it's fluent in this spoken language. And as you actually monitor the news, I will say that these guys look, because you actually get to see people finally.
Yeah, what do they look like?
They're reptilian, sort of halfway between a Saurian and a Gorn. Like
a Gornian? I love those guys.
Thorn? Gornian.
A Gorn, not Thorn. But they're basically human with humanoid based, similar faces, but more scaly and they've got like almost a frilled neck lizard. They've got like that kind of frill coming down from the necks, just like basically to their shoulders. It's not a big frill neck, but it's there, and that's,
don't go down there. They'll spit venom.
and that's what you see. That's just conjecture at the moment where they spit venom. You don't have any of the medical kind of stuff to say whether they got.
That was a joke.
Yes. But I'm just making it clear for everyone that you don't. You only know what they look like. You don't know what their biological capabilities are just yet. So that's that. So what do you guys want to do?
What did they say about the solar flare?
Basically, they noted that the solar flare happened, that it was detected, that there was an unusual gravitic anomaly that they use, almost like a black hole-like gravitic anomaly that drew the flare away and prevented any impact and stress on the satellite. They appear to think that the satellite network would have protected them from it, but they seem to be aware of the strength of it anyway.
I'm gonna fact check that their satellite network could do that.
All right, so
Scan.
are you going to be scanning the satellites?
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna. Do you want to take lead, and I'll have Iris assist you?
Sure. So is that gonna be like an insight science?
This will be. I'm gonna say engineering. For you, it'll be science for Iris. And this will be trying to figure insight or reason. No, I'm going to say reason for both, because you basically know the idea. You're just not sure if it's going to be strong enough. So that is something that you can logically work out rather than.
Do my design focuses apply here, since I would probably know a satellite would be relatively...
With the common... With how your EPS and your small design work, I'm going to allow it. Just because how they intersect in their way. So you've got 3. Iris is going to roll hers. She's not going to have a focus. And the Valkyrie will roll its.
Okay.
So this will be sensors and engineering. Okay. So that's 5 all up, so you're back to max. What did I say the difficulty was? I didn't give a difficulty, so it's going to be 2. So you've got 2 momentum, and because
it's all back.
It's all back, and you've got 2 momentum that you want to spend. The result is that there are within the satellite what seems to be an extra power, like a small power reactor that hasn't been activated. You would think that once that there's like maybe some kind of trigger or something that would activate and would boost the power of the magnetic of the magnetic shield around the planet. So with the extra,
so I can spend that. Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to say anything else. Actually, you'll need to obtain information.
Well, we've got the momentum. May as well. We've got to spend this 2 momentum, right?
Well, you don't have to, but it will be lost otherwise. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend it.
All right. So what do you want? What more do you want to know about the satellites?
What are these satellites' purposes, and how powerful would they be?
Okay, so the main purpose is obviously the same thing you've done with the probe, basically to shield and protect the planet from from the eddies, and a side effect of that is the flares as well. They've been seemingly been boosted, or like there's sort of like they were deployed and then they were sort of like updated in space. So so the initial systems haven't been interfered with, but the update has like just basically boosted, can provide a boost to the entire network.
Okay, and then so do I still have 1 momentum left over? Then?
You can spend 1 more if you want to.
Okay, I'm gonna ask: if all the satellites were linked together like that, could they generate a strong enough force field to theoretically protect them from the supernova, even if that would still mean the death of the planet because less of a block of sunlight and so forth?
The problem with the nova is it's just not an electromagnetic burst. There's going to be massive chunks, physical chunks of stuff that are just going to collide with the planet. And as you know, any decent sized asteroid is going to be can be what's called an extinction level event. So
gotcha. So
plus the orbit of the planet would change too, right? Like it would jack up the planet's life.
So the electromagnetic field they generate is mainly directed outwards, but yeah, the systems can't really sustain a high level of that for a long time. That's why it's an on-off kind of thing. I'll give you that.
Okay.
I mean, we still had our plan to try to stabilize the star, right?
Yeah.
What happened to that?
We stopped it because Prime Directive violation.
Huh.
And yeah, we've kind of already violated Prime Directive.
We did kind of indirectly save them.
Did the news, like, we were watching the news or something, right? Did they say anything about us?
Yeah.
They didn't directly say anything, but they definitely mentioned that the gravity well and the stuff that you guys created was something of interest that scientists are investigating. So once again, something else that is easily that you could be identified, but it is maybe you don't know for certain if they have or have not.
I'm going to use our access to the network to check to see between if there's been classified communication between like astronomy labs and the military in the last since we put the gravity well down, as well as to their leadership.
Okay. As you can I get a roll? It's going to be, I'm going to say difficulty 3.
Okay.
This will be reason. I would say you pretty much can make a call for everything but medicine. So I'll let you.
I'll go with engineering.
Yeah, engineering. Yeah.
And I'm burning a momentum for the die.
Yep.
And computer, so applicable focus.
And the ship will obviously do computers. I'm going to say security for the ship. Okay.
Oh my god.
So this is okay. For some reason, something's going weird. It applies your focus to the ship, but the ship really shouldn't have a focus. So, yeah, you get your 4 from that. The ship gives you an extra 1, so you get your momentum back. And
+1.
There isn't really a particularly strong military. The government, there's pretty much only one government on this world, from what you can tell, and so there isn't really like a lot of armed forces. There's police and other stuff, but nothing to the level that would be considered an army or a navy.
Crap, we found Planet Granola.
There are, but what I will say, there are like sort of secret scientific installations, and there is traffic between them and the government.
Can I intercept some of those data packets using the spare momentum I got?
Yeah, if you want to use that momentum, yes.
Then yes.
Yep, so that you do have the extra momentum, sorry. So you're able to what you just basically copy the packets and you read them and then copy them onto your system. They are encrypted, but they're using 200.
300. Yeah.
Yeah, they're using ancient technology, so the computer systems are able to basically just hard crack them pretty much automatically. So there are there is talk of a external entity. They haven't seemed to. They seem to think that they might be an external entity that might have acted to protect the planet. So they're like by the thing that there are also that they don't seem to be aware of the quote unquote Food Network hack, or
Okay.
at least if they aren't, they're not necessarily connecting the dots there. They might not be connecting the two incidents together, but
Did they also by any chance detect our probe test from last time?
they haven't detected the probe on the other side of the sun. They haven't detected that. All the discussion you're hearing is about
The gravity well.
It is about the gravity well.
Captain? Oops.
What happened?
They detected
What
the
now?
gravity well. They definitely detected the gravity well, and according to some encrypted transmissions between secret government agencies and their leadership, they suspect an outside influence.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised. It seemed like that kind of thing was inevitable, but they don't have any more concrete information about us specifically.
No, but it's only a matter of time at this point.
Well, can you ascertain any more information you can out of their computer networks? And I'd like to call a meeting of the senior staff to discuss the situation.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I guess.
So, what kind of information do you want to find?
I guess the first thing would be check. Okay, are there telescopes pointing towards our direction?
Okay, there are the telescopes in the encrypted traffic. You do mention a number of telescopes. They're in they seem like optical telescopes. They are searching, but haven't. The night sky, the sky is a big place. They haven't actually identified anything yet. Are you guys like what kind of where you are in relation to the day-night? You're still behind the moon, but
well, I mean we were behind the moon from the flare, so between the moon and the planet. So I would imagine that there's probably some amateur high schooler looking up at the monitor. What the? Oh my god.
Okay, yeah, so you guys are at dusk. So from where you are, you during the day it would be pretty hard to see just because there's so much light from the sun. But about now is when you would actually start to be properly visible by land-based telescopes.
Okay.
Don't ships have some kind of silent running kind of thing? Just Discovery when, I hope there's no spoilers, but they were behind enemy lines and they're silent running.
Silent running doesn't make you invisible. That's basically you can't be detected with sensors because you've got masking your energy signatures. This is
there's gotta be a protocol.
That's one of the things that we do.
Yes, but okay, one, they couldn't detect that stuff anyways, but we don't have a cloaking device on the Valkyrie.
Yeah, so I'm happy for you to say that you've been running low, but if you're going to be seen with the naked eye, you're going to be seen. That would be resolved if you guys had a cloaking device or some other tech like that. That would.
Can we just park on the other side of the moon?
You can easily pilot around the other side of the moon.
Before we do that, I'm gonna check for. Before we do that, we better make sure there aren't any telescopes pointed at wherever our course ends up going.
So
basically.
Okay. Just trying to think. So you are at dusk, so there are some parts of the planet where it's dusk, not where it is actually night, that can see you. You're not aware of most of the of the planet is populated. Just this one side of the planet pretty much is populated. So
okay.
There isn't really any population within within thousands of kilometers from that. So you would assume, you could go into detail scans, but if you go directly behind the planet, behind the star moon, then that's going to be big enough to, if you're close enough anyway, to obscure you from the entire planet. On the other hand, you would also have a harder time connecting into the network as well. But as the signal degrades, but that's
have we learned everything that there is to learn?
Not
Did
yet.
you get any other information? Let's get what we can out of the computer network. Anything else we might need, and then move to the more secure position.
Okay.
Okay. So
I am.
Yep. What information do you want?
I am going to extract. Since we're kind of on these encrypted channels already, I'm gonna basically look for. Okay, well, they may have detected us. Let's see if they have preparations in case they have contact with an alien race to start with. That should be priority 1. Then, their plans for dealing with the looming supernova, system of government, basic cultural norms, and so forth. You know, going down the okay, we may have to make contact with these people now. Let's make sure that stuff's sorted out first, and then start like downloading scientific research.
Okay, so yeah, their information. You basically find a Google equivalent, and you're able to find mostly non-encrypted stuff for there. For the like first contact procedures and all that stuff, you muddle around with that network and actually what I'm going to require is to do a check.
Okay.
Can I get an insight? Engineering with your computer's focus, so that I'm going to spend another 2 threat to increase the complication range. So it's now 17, 18, 19, 20.
And what's the difficulty?
The difficulty will be 2. Actually, I'm going to spend another 2 threat to make it 3.
Then I'm spending a momentum.
Do it. We have so much.
Okay. So that's
Oh,
a good
boy.
and bad.
Oh.
Okay, so I will roll
That's
the.
the first time we do that.
So you've got the 3. I will roll the Valkyrie anyway. So that'll be computers engineering. 1 dice. And that
Nice.
is, so you've got your momentum back, and you've got 1 free momentum to use.
I'm gonna use that momentum to throw out the complication.
Okay, so you will need to spend another momentum for that.
May as well.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So
I have a lot.
you're back down to 5. You make a mistake, but you realize it just in time and click delete it. You
Control Alt Delete.
Yeah, you're able to pretend that mistake that you had done never actually happened, but you're able to get on, get into the classified network and get all the classified materials that you want.
Okay.
What you find is that first contact. Actually, what I'll start is do some of the cultural stuff first, which then will lead into the classified. Historically, the planet, as you know, it's around a giant red giant star. They're pretty much aware from stories from history that this planet was cold and started to warm up, and they've started to thrive on this warmer planet. Some people think that there's many theories about like how I mean, they know why the planet was warming up, but there's many theories of like where their origins, pretty much, were they taken from the planet that's closer in and relocated by an alien race? Were they what did they themselves originate on that inner planet and travel and then somehow forgot the space technology, or like forgot they did because just having to survive, or were like godlike aliens involved in spawning them on this planet well and truly after this, this planet had been created and been frozen down. So there is they're well aware, like there's even like a number of religions based around these aliens, sort of like Bajorans, but Bajoran kind of thing.
So for Mazaka, that would set off a red flag, and he would go to he looks over to Rogues and he goes, Rogueson, can you do me a favor and check to see if there are any preserver obelisks on this planet?
I will get to scan that in a sec, but I'll just finish telling you what has been done. So that's basically the culture itself is actually based on 3 core duties: the duty to society, duty to the family, and duty to yourself. And there's opposing, like there's corresponding rights. So the society, so like there's to count as like a counterbalance. So society has duties to the citizen. The citizen has rights in relation to how society reacts to them, but the citizen also has duties that they have to perform for the society. So it's very much it's sort of very much like this is what our responsibilities are, and this is how we should proceed by these 3 basic duties. Pretty much everything else comes off from those. So there are basically first contact procedures. They seem to be well aware that any aliens they might encounter will be far more powerful than they are, and the main thing is just to try and communicate, connect, and understand what these aliens are, and just and then play it by ear. They don't really have like a whole list of contingencies. They basically going to take the situation and then apply their duties to that situation and come out with whatever solution they can to the problem. If it's nice aliens, then things can be sorted out easily. If they're going to take you over, then obviously
we surrender.
It's like the government can't do anything, but
the people will.
The people will, essentially.
So basically, first contact would be very amenable in this race.
From what you can see, they will be. I wouldn't necessarily say amenable, but they will be. They're not going to be xenophobic, or they're going to be taking you as they seem, as taking you as you are. So with the Federation, you're not expecting any problems. As long as you know, as long as you guys, at least deal with the duties, like work within that framework. You don't really expect any problems. What else?
I asked Rook.
Sorry.
Okay, tech stuff.
Tech stuff. Okay. They do seem to have something they call the space-time field generator, which is essentially a warp field. It generates warp fields. They've known about this technology for a while, but the energy requirements have just been far too much for them to handle. That's the fusion.
So basically, they're basically a reactor short from doing it.
Yeah. So they like the antimatter tests that they have done. You see, like logs have been pretty small scale, but you can see that they're starting broader scale, like larger scale tests. They're planning on basically shooting up a rocket into space and warp testing a warp drone pretty soon, within the next couple of hours or so, in fact.
As soon as I see that, I rush over to the captain. Captain,
what is it?
Captain, they're performing a warp test in literally a couple of hours.
Are we set up to monitor it?
Well, it shouldn't be that hard. It'll just be a basic sensor scan, but yes. It looks like they've had warp theory for years now. They've just been having power problems. It seems they've just simply been slow at developing antimatter-matter reaction.
Well, the second their technology breaks the warp barrier, things change for us, so let's keep an eye on that.
There's also some other information you need to be made aware of. They may be already aware of aliens. Nothing solid, but they seem to already suspect the existence of aliens, and to the point that it's a major part of one of their beliefs in their origins. They believe that they may have even come from a planet that went further inward on the solar system before the star became a red giant and lost the technology to travel. I'm having Lieutenant Robertson scan for preserver artifacts because they seem to have some presence of the knowledge of let's just say, super advanced alien life.
Interesting. In that case, do you have any further research to do through their computer networks? Otherwise, I think we need to have a staff meeting.
I've got the computer automatically downloading any additional information we'll need, but I think everything that's relevant is here.
There is a bit more. They are actually in the process of designing or building ships that they're trying to be as agnostic with the engines as possible, but they're at least designing ships for people to inhabit so they can get off this planet. So you do confirm that they know that the star is going to blow. They know that if they stay on this planet, they're doomed. So that's their duties compel them to work together to do all this.
Do that.
So that's where they're at with that. And I'm just trying to think what else. So there's I will say this: their science has, as a result, been more focused on astronomy, on power, on faster than light travel than many others have been. So that's seemingly why their society is more 21st century than 22nd where people usually develop warp travel. That's
no cars, but warp drive.
That's pretty much as far as I can remember what all the information about the society. So I will get Iris to do the scan for Preserver. There we go, there's Iris. She will do Reason Science, difficulty 2. And she will have a focus. That is 10. She doesn't detect any like Preserver artifacts on the planet. So if they don't, as far as you can tell, all the technology has come from is indigenous. So they don't have any firm thing to point about the aliens. But since now it's time for a conference, let's switch to that map.
Ooh, fancy conference map. I recognize that.
So Boulevard has done this for me, so thank you for that. And
lens flare.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, technically the planet would be now blocked out by the moon, but we're just going to ignore that for now. So anyway, the captain has called all of you and everyone in for a conference.
All right, everyone. So I'm sure you can acknowledge that the fact that these aliens are so close to warp capability completely changes the ball game here. So our first priority is of course to save as many lives as possible if the Prime Directive isn't in the way. So I need to make sure that I know that the second their drone breaks the light barrier, and I look at Commander Rogeson with that.
She says, we're monitoring, we're already scanning the planet. We are identifying the site where the launch will likely take place. We have that information, and we will be able to inform you and the rest of the crew as soon as the launch happens, and we'll be collecting any data we can on the warp test.
Very well. And that means the second we do that, I want to prepare a first contact scenario with the leadership of the planet, which I believe has a unified government. Is that correct?
It is indeed correct. They have a singular government. They have a 3-tiered system about their beliefs. All centered around their duties to their people, the duties to their family, and then themselves. I would say, given the situation, all 3 would apply, and based on their other values, they would be, well, accepting of aliens.
Oh, very well. If you can forward me all that relevant information, I believe I have the
already here, sir. I hand you a pad.
Excellent. And I leaf through it and I say, well, I'll prepare a first contact plan. If you can identify their leader, and maybe I can interact with them. But that doesn't do us any good without the final part of the plan, which is to do what we can to save their planet. So where are we at with the stabilization of the star?
Well, our probes could work if we have first contact. Prime Directive won't prevent us from, well, shoring it up. That will give them a few months, give us a few months to get some transports out there to help them.
So
exactly my thinking.
Yeah, so Iris says, does pop up, it will be, according to established norms, it is going to be 10 years, and that should be re-established once the network of probes are completed around the star. This would be quite a... Could take some time, but we can... I think we all would agree that would be worth it to deploy all these probes.
Okay, I'm gonna ask, do we have any medical information on this species? Because I might need to look into seeing how they're doing due to this unstable star. Right? They might be having radiation poisoning problems, for example. Maybe if it's possible, maybe I can help them if they do achieve warp.
Computer is still downloading their records. Medical information should be among them. Oh.
Okay, well, let me know. I'll get my team ready.
So I type on the pad to add to the list medical information, RE, radiation, blah blah blah.
All right. Any other suggestions of things we're missing for this plan? Okay. Well, then let's get to it. And I guess we have a couple hours until this warp launch.
It is. I don't know if I've said an hour, but I think it's 2 hours. So
you said 2 hours.
Yeah. So doing whatever. So all the information about the medical stuff would come in. The population is small, but there doesn't seem to be any particularly problematic radiation poisoning or things with people. They seem to be pretty high. The satellites are protecting them from the eddies from the west of the star, and even the flares that does come. You do have the extra power boost that are capable in the satellites, so most of that kind of stuff is taken care of, is dealt with. Obviously there are like colds and standard sicknesses and diseases, but
hey, I can cure alien cancer.
Yeah, there would be alien cancer, but it is. I'm going to say that it's not as big as a problem as cancer is now for us.
Okay.
They all have ran away.
No extra arms growing.
Yeah, no mutants, no X-Men or anything like that.
Okay, so in that time, can I mean, meeting dismissed, by the way, in case can I spend that time to like put together a like using the data, like their cultural data, put together like a plan to like culturally like what would work best to approach their leader and make first contact?
So examining the cultural data, the best. Actually, can I get you to do an insight command check? Difficulty 2.
Sure. It actually doesn't ask for difficulty anymore. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah.
Should I burn up momentum on this? I guess first contact is important. I'm gonna do 3. I'm gonna burn a momentum.
Yeah, get lost.
Yeah. All right. So
I think a focus qualifies here for. I've got like a lot of diplomacy stuff.
Let me just confirm. Diplomacy and negotiation. I'm going to allow for the cultural exchange. Federation.
Okay. It didn't qualify anyway. Got 3 successes though.
You got your 3 successes, so yeah, you got 1 momentum back.
Hey.
And yeah, so from the cultural analysis, they're pretty straightforward, and you think just a straightforward, honest approach, a direct approach would work.
Okay.
So
should I like beam into his office or like beam him up here, or what would what would?
We would beam down there. If I remember the show, like we would beam down to his office.
You probably...
I mean, like culturally, what would? Do we know culturally what would generate the least waves?
So. I mean, they're aware that there's aliens with strange technology, and godlike, the potential for godlike aliens. So it could work. With that, you're not entirely. If you want to see, like, actually, what I'm gonna say is you're gonna need a momentum spend for that.
For like what locale would work better?
Yeah, no, like to see if you could beam down in front of the Parliament building or whatever their equivalent of the government offices are, or you could beam in directly to the it's a prime minister for this society, a worker whose duty it is to for the entire society, and yeah, so yeah, if you want to use a momentum to see if one is preferable than the other, or if
I'm kind of looking at like. Should I, like, I mean, do they have a, like, should we just talk to the Prime Minister, or should we just, like, dramatically beam in front of, like, their whole, you know, Senate or whatever, you know, governing body, or, you know, just basically, like, the right, like, place to introduce us? And I'll burn a momentum for that, sure.
Okay, burning the momentum, you don't think that there would be any particular problems in publicly announcing your presence, especially since most people actually believe there are aliens. You wouldn't be necessarily causing any kind of problems or issues.
Like I won't cause a riot if like I beam down in front of
you won't cause a riot if you beam down
like
publicly and publicly show yourself. But and in fact, that with this society, that probably would be preferred as like dealing with like just a single person in their own that could be very much construed in negative ways in terms of not just hiding and concealing the motives.
Okay. And should I go down by myself or like bring like an entourage? Or is there enough info for that?
I would I will give you this as part of the momentum spend. A small group would be fine.
Okay.
They would probably expect something. Probably expect a group. I mean, there wouldn't be unless it's they would most likely be expecting the group.
Okay.
So.
All right. I'd like to. Who would like to come down on the diplomacy party when it's time?
Mazaka's gonna volunteer for no other reason than A, he believes in people, and B, he wants to apologize for hacking Facebook.
Yeah.
Hacking their food network.
That was tasty.
All right.
All right. Who else would like to go?
I mean, I guess I'll go too. I mean, my first contact, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So I at least put down. I just make like a plan of, who's in the away team and who's coming and generally things to say for the first contact.
All right.
Would Sprith come if he was here, or would he stay on the ship?
Well, what I'm going to say, we are getting close to the end, so we don't really have to worry about that for now. So we can resolve that next week.
Okay.
So as you do all that, you're prepared, and Iris has been at a station, has just been keeping a look at the sensors, have been looking at the launch location, has called you in and called you up. Captain, we have signals of an immediate launch. We expect launch in the next minute.
Excellent. Let's keep a tight sensor lock on that drone, and prepare to drop our diplomacy team in the middle of their government.
Surprise.
All right.
Yeah. Welcome to the club. Get off the planet. Oh my god, it's gonna die. That'll be my pitch.
Yeah. So Iris, what Iris does is hook into the audio of the launch with a time thing, and you hear the throughout the bridge you hear the countdown to the launch, and just as it goes to one, the fusion engines of this rocket launches, engage, and it starts rising up into the sky. The lock is strong. It's moving at a fairly slow pace, so there's no problem keeping a lock and gaining data. Its orbit is strong. It doesn't explode on the launch pad. It gets up into the upper atmosphere above the satellites, and the actual the last piece, the stage of the rocket, falls away, and you're just left with this autonomous drone. Basically a warp core. Just basically a walk call, really. That's all it is with all that associated with it. It's just a drone test. That's all it is. And that's what
someone slapped some nacelles on a drone.
Yeah, basically. And that's where we're gonna have to leave it, because it's time.
All right.
So we'll
client just saved themselves.
So we'll see what happens next episode. So thank you guys for joining with me playing this game. Hope you've enjoyed it playing with me, and hope everyone who has been watching and listening along has enjoyed it as well. Thank you once again to Invocation Array for their music, and we'll see you on the next Valkyrie Flight. Baz out.